So, since the Pens are done, we're going to talk about other NHL stuff. I am stoked right now for the Western Conference. I know a lot of people are upset that it's going to be a bunch of teams that nobody's ever heard of. But it's time that you learned. If you're a hockey fan, it's time that you learned that there are other teams out there. You think about the teams that got knocked out. The Sharks, the Red Wings, the Canucks, the Blackhawks. Those are the four major Western Conference teams that everybody around here knows about. Well, the Kings are awesome. Anze Kopitar, Dustin Brown, Jonathan Quick, who just got nominated for the Vezina. They're a good team. They got Mike Richards, which I know people around here don't like. They have Simone Gagne. They're a good team. They're not coached by a real great guy. Sutter is not a great coach. He's not even a good coach. But, getting into the 8th seed, they were far better than Vancouver. I don't know if it was because the Sedin brothers were split up because one of them was hurt, but and Luongo and his ongoing nonsense. But I like the Kings. I picked the Kings to go. I'm sticking with it. I really like them out of the West. But there are other good teams. Nashville, constantly underrated, constantly losing people at the beginning of the season. People are always like, well, we didn't pick them last year, and they did well, and they're not going to do well this year. Well, they were 4th in the West, and they really took it to Detroit. It's almost, in my opinion, a changing of the guard. St. Louis won that very difficult Central Division in the West. TJ Oshie, outstanding player. If you haven't got a chance to see him yet, I gotta tell you, this St. Louis-Los Angeles series is gonna be chock full of guys. You need to watch this series if you're a hockey fan, and especially if you're from around here and you aren't familiar with the West. This is in my opinion, the best of the young talent in the West. You get Kopitar versus Oshie, and the other team in the West is the Phoenix Coyotes, who have never won a series up until now. And they took care of Chicago, which is good. Their goaltending is probably, of the 4 teams, the weakest with Mike Smith. Shane Doan has been waiting forever to get this far. You know they're gonna be hungry. The matchups are St. Louis and Los Angeles, as I said. Can't wait for that. Phoenix and Nashville. It's like Gary Bettman's dream. Always preaching how these other teams are gonna, these aren't hockey markets, people tell him. Well, he's like, ha! They are hockey markets, you see? Because either Nashville or Phoenix is going to move on to the 3rd round. The 3rd round! Nashville and Phoenix. When you think hockey, that's what you think, right? Well, you should. Nashville has been consistent with Barry Trotz at the helm for as long as they've existed. Phoenix, this is new territory for them, but I believe that they're going to be competitive. So my picks for those 2 series, I have to go with the Kings because I picked them out of the West. St. Louis, I just don't know that they can keep this up, I don't have a lot of faith in St. Louis, to be honest with you. I thought San Jose was going to come in there and beat them just because San Jose was coming in on a hot streak and St. Louis kind of struggled down the stretch. But I have to take Los Angeles. I have to take Jonathan Quick stealing another series. And the other series, Nashville and Phoenix, Nashville. Absolutely Nashville. Pecorine, solid in net. That defensive grouping that they have with Hal Gill and Shea Weber. And as a group, you don't see a team work as well together as the Nashville Predators do. And it's because of Barry Trotz, who someday needs to win a Coach of the Year award. Probably going to be Ken Hitchcock this year for the Blues, but... So I like Nashville and Los Angeles in the 3rd round, going to the Stanley Cup Finals, one of the 2 of them. In the East, there's still 2 games to go tonight. We got New York, and we got Ottawa going against each other. And since I picked the Rangers to go for the East, I have to pick the Rangers in this. But Ottawa's done such a good job against them, I'm not 100% confident. But, I think Lundqvist is the goaltender you want to have in a Game 7. I do. So, I picked the Rangers to win that one tonight. Florida and New Jersey. This is why I have to go with Florida. They have a lot of guys on this team that have playoff experience. They don't have a lot of talent. But they have guys like Fleischman. They have Bergenheim, who's a Game 7 hero last year, Pens fans. I'm sorry. He was. I like them. Jovanovski's been here before with Florida, so I like Florida over New Jersey. Not dissing New Jersey. They've kind of flown under the radar all year long. But in a Game 7, Brodor's had some struggles in Game 7s lately. The Panthers, like I said, have a lot of guys who've been in Game 7s. They know what they're doing. They're not a pushover. They're at home. And even though home ice doesn't matter, and it really doesn't matter at all, I think that little push from the Florida fans is going to get the Panthers into the second round. What they do from there, not much. They're not going to do much after that. Finally, last night's game, Boston and Washington. I have a huge interest in Boston. I really enjoy watching them play. I like Milan Lucic, Chara, of course, Tim Thomas, classy goaltender. Still likes to get in scraps when he should be playing the puck, but I enjoy watching him. It's rough to see them go out to Washington. Don't kill me, guys. I am an Alexander Ovechkin fan. I am. He didn't have a whole lot to do with last night, but the guy who did, I am also a fan of, which is Mike Knuble, driving to the net to get Joel Ward that rebound. I don't think Holtby's going to get him past the second round. Unless, hear me out, unless they play the Flyers. That series that would be up in the air. You got two teams that I don't have a lot of faith in Washington, but I don't have a lot of faith in Philadelphia because Philadelphia's goaltending is questionable. In the last game against the Penguins, the defense did a great job of insulating him, keeping everything outside, not letting a lot of dangerous shots on him because they knew he's shaky. Can the Capitals bring the kind of pressure needed? Maybe, but that's not even, that's saying that series happens. I'm not saying it will. I know I'm mostly a Penguin guy. They had their press conference 2 days ago and basically came to the conclusion that they have no idea what happened. A lot of guys are playing injured, but you can't use that as an excuse because everybody plays injured this time of year. They just don't reveal it because, obviously if you're in a playoff series, you're going to expose your opponent's weakness, so I don't want to get too much into the Penguins. We've established that they were a disappointment. As far as next year goes, it really depends on the salary cap and what happens. There might not even be a season next year, so if you're a hockey fan, definitely enjoy what you're seeing. Don't look at the Western Conference matchups and go, oh, I don't know who these guys are. Well, you need to learn if you're going to be a hockey fan. And these guys, especially the Kings and Blues series, that's going to be fantastic to watch. You need to watch these. If you're not a hockey fan, if you're just a Penguins fan, sorry. Otherwise, that's all I got for today. I'll try to hit you up throughout the playoffs, let you know what I'm thinking. So, later.
Let me go.